Right now we're in Kaslo BC. This is a small town near Nelson, BC, which during the Second World War was the temporary home for over 1,000 Japanese Canadian internees, including my mother. My name is Susan Yatabe. I'm a sansei, which means that I'm a third-generation Japanese Canadian. My mother was a teacher here. When she was aged 18, she taught approximately 30 grade 3 students. My mother was still in her house, but she was starting to suffer from dementia. One day when I was sorting through the stuff in her basement, we found a series of drawings that had obviously been drawn by little kids. And I realized that they were drawn by my mother's grade 3 students. They were drawn on, 6 by 6 inch, newsprint in crayon. Some of them were just drawn in pencil. Some of them had the names of the kids, the artists on them. Some of them had, the first name and last name. A lot of them just had first name. A few had no name, no names on them. That was the first time that I had seen anything to do with my mother's class. Also, in my mother's basement were many pictures of my mother's class from internment days. They were black and white pictures, but they're pretty sharp. So I showed my mother the pictures. The pictures had no names or anything on them, and she could only remember the name of the best student, the student that gave her the most trouble, and one boy called Susumu, who my mother remembered was deported. So we're right now at an exhibit showing some of the artwork done by her students, their drawings of buildings around Kaslo. The exhibit also includes black and white photographs of the students and the teachers, and some pictures of the town of Kaslo during internment. And the exhibit includes the biographies of 13 of my mother's former students who are now the ones that are still alive are over 90 years old. I got in touch with the families of 4 more, and I was able to interview the families. So I have the life stories and interviews with 13 of the students. Many of the students died, and I couldn't find their family members. I wasn't able to contact them. Quite a few of them went to Japan. They probably stayed in Japan, and I wouldn't know where to start. Trying to find these people. I did put an ad in the Nikkei Voice. I got my friend Mandy Shintani to put an ad in Facebook. Not an ad, but just post some of the pictures saying, do you know these people? And I got a few answers. And also, I was looking for the teachers too, not just the students, the teachers that taught with my mother. There were nine of them in all. And really, I ended up with 4. The biographies for 4 of the teachers. Most of the pictures the originals are just like that. They're tiny, tiny, tiny pictures that came from my mother's photo album, which was like this size. Everything is original. All those pictures are original except the valentines. I've got like 20 valentines, and that's a scan. Those pictures are all original, and they're pretty. Some of them are very fragile, and some of them are crumbling, like Jim's big picture of the school. It's if you look, it's just browning and crumbling. My mother had an incredible memory, and also she was unlike most Nisei parents. She wanted us to never forget what happened, never. And so she was always talking about the internment, and she was always talking about things that happened in the past when she lived in Vancouver, or after internment when she lived in Toronto. She was always talking about her past and people that she knew, and things that her parents did. I've spoken with 9 of the students that are still living. A lot of them don't remember my mother at all. They don't really remember any of the teachers, but 2 of them did say that they do remember her, and they remember that she was a very kind and wonderful teacher. Jim, in particular, Jim Miyazaki, he told me that my mother gave him extra lessons after school because she recognized that even though he was having trouble reading, he was actually a very smart kid. And so she would say, okay, Jim, we're going to meet at 4:30 in the school, so I'll give you extra reading lessons. And then he wouldn't show up. But he told me last year, he said, I always wanted to meet your mother and thank her for, believing in me and for encouraging me, because she was the only teacher that did that, and she's the one that I remember the most. And that made me feel very happy and sad too, because my mother never had a chance to meet any of her students.